Hello everyone and welcome to our next lesson where we will be discussing how to use flags. So what exactly are flags? Well, if we think about it, when we use a command such as ls, it gives us back the list of items that are in our current directory. However, there are other options that we could add to ls. For example, ls-l, and that gives us a long listing. So the L is what I would consider a flag. It allows us to do other things to the ls command. So the point of this lesson is to learn how to create these flags using Go. Okay, so let's begin. So I went ahead and I created my go.mod file, and it's parse, right? So lowestalwin.net/parse. I have my empty go.main.go file. So let me fill this up. Package main, import. I will definitely need the flag package. I will need fmt. And I will need the strings package. But I'll leave off the strings for now. Oops. Okay. Let's try again. Okay. So what I want to do is to allow the user to specify what text message they want printed on the console. So I want to be able to tell the user that by using a particular flag, they can tell my program what message to print. However, if there is no flag present, if the user does not specify a flag, then we want some default message to be printed. Okay, so let's look at the steps for creating a flag. So I'm going to set a flag where the user can specify the message to print or to display. And the parts of a flag is simply, of course, we give it a name. And we will say flag that. Now there are different kinds of flags. There are flags that the user will enter a string. The user might enter a bool. The user might type a number, an int. For this first one, since the user will be typing a message, and we know a message is a string, we'll use the string version. Okay. So it tells us here that we need to provide the name string. This means the name of the flag. So will the user put a dash A? Will the user put a dash L? Will the user put a dash MSG? We decide what it should be. So I'm going to say that the user has to put a dash txt. Okay, we don't put the dash, we just put txt. All right, so the user will have to put text. Now the next thing, we have to specify a default value. If this is missing, if the user does not specify the flag, then what should the default value be? Okay, I will make the default message be hello there. And then thirdly, we need to specify one more thing. We have to specify a help message. Okay, so how does this flag work? What is the point of this flag? We need a help message, and the help message will be message to display. It's taking up too much space, so let me just put everything on a comma. Okay, yeah, that way you can see it. Okay, so we have our flag, and this is the key thing you must remember. The flag, whatever function you use, it always returns a pointer. So this is a flag that string, so it returns a pointer to a string. So whatever the user types in, whatever flag the user uses, if the user uses this flag, then the result will be sent back as a pointer. Okay, and so MSG is a pointer. It points to a string. And as you recall from your programming courses, if you want to use a pointer, you need to dereference it. Okay. So what we have to do now, once we have specified our flag, we need to now say flag.parse. Now, what is the point of this? Let's see what Go tells us. Go says parses the command line flags, okay, and it must be called after we have defined our flag, which it did, but before we use the flag. Okay, so I have defined my flag, and so I can call flag.parse, and only then can I actually use the flag. All right. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to say, so display message. I'm just going to use a simple FMT. Now, this is the part you must understand, that you are not printing MSG, because if you were to put MSG, what is MSG? It's a pointer to a string. And so if I simply print MSG, it will print the address, which you don't want, right? So what I want is not to print the contents of MSG, right? I don't want to look inside and print the address. I want to dereference MSG. And so I'll simply use the asterisk. Let's save that, and let's run it. And so this gives me a good opportunity to introduce you to another command, which is called go build. And what go build does is to create an executable for us. Right? So notice when we usually do go run, right? No executable. I could do go run, and then I could specify txt, right? And then how do you do the flag? You say equal assignment, sorry, and then whatever message. Good morning. Okay, and that works. An easier way, whenever we're dealing with flags, we could actually create an executable. So to do that, I will simply say go build, and Go will create an executable named after what I have in my go.mod file, which is parse. So if I do ls, we'll see that there's an executable called parse. Okay, and to run this file, I will say that / name of the file, name of the executable, sorry, and if there are any flags, then I specify the flags. So I have the flag specified, and so that is what will be printed. Again, if I don't specify the flag, then the default behavior will be displayed. The default message will be displayed. Hello there. Okay, let's add another flag to our program. Okay, let me save this first. Let me use git. So git init. Okay, let me do git status. All right, I have 3 files that are untracked. I don't want the parse, so let me just remove that. rm parse. Okay. Git status. So I have 2 files that are untracked. So let me tell Git to start tracking these files. So git add go.mod and main.go. Good. Git status. All right. So they are being tracked. They are staged. Now I need to save them to commit. So I'm going to say git commit -m. Notice I'm using a flag right here, -m. All right. So all of these command line tools that you've been using, they use flags. Let's call it initial commit. Good. All right. So let's go ahead and let's create another flag. Let's say I want the user to be able to tell me whether the message that should be displayed, their message that should be displayed, should be uppercase. Okay? And so let's create a variable called caps. Of course, we need flag, and we want the flag to be a bool, true or false. So if the user specifies true, then we know that the message, when it's printed, it should be in capital letters or all caps. So that is bool. And we follow the same pattern. Let's call it C. Right? That's what the user will type in. And the default will be false. Okay? So only if the user specifies true will we print the message in caps. And our user message, the help message should text be uppercase. Okay. Again, Keep in mind that this is a bool, and so it's a pointer. So caps is a pointer. So we are dealing with pointers. The flags package always returns pointers. Okay, so we're gonna have our flag.parse. It's gonna parse to check for the message. It's gonna parse to check for the caps. Okay, so how do I use caps? Well, I think a simple conditional would work. Let's check to see if caps is true. If the flag is true, if it's present. If the user specified true. And so that's easy enough. I'm going to say if. I can't say caps. I have to say star caps. If star caps, and remember from your programming courses, your previous programming courses, when you have if followed by the name of a variable, then it's like saying if true. Okay? So we don't need to say if star caps is true. No. If star caps implies you're checking to see if it's true. Okay, so if true, then I want to capitalize the message. So I'm going to say strings, since that's the package we use to capitalize. There's a toUpper function, and it requires a string. We have a string. It's called star MSG. Now, toUpper will capitalize whatever it finds in star MSG, and I will just save the answer back into star MSG. Right? Again, this is nothing new. All I'm doing is dereferencing this string pointer to string, getting the message, making it uppercase, and that uppercase string is going to be put back into the same location. And that's all we need to do. So if the user enters true, then we're going to run this if. If the user doesn't enter anything, then we know that the flag is false, and so this will be skipped. And so the original message will be printed uncapitalized. Let's verify that. So let's build again. Okay, and so let's execute without any of the arguments, without any of the flags. Okay, let's add the text flag. I could also not put an assignment sign and just put a space and say howdy. Okay, that's another way of entering the flag. Okay. Good. All right, works. Let me use the assignment sign. All right. Okay. All right, so let's put the second flag, which is the whether to capitalize or not, whether to uppercase or not, and that is C. So I will say -C, and I will put true. Notice I don't use quotes. All right, I don't say quotes true, because if I did that, then it would be a string. Okay. And so notice that we get howdy in uppercase. So I have two flags, two arguments, or two options to the parse command. Let's save this. Let's get rid of the parse. I don't want to commit that. So let's do get status to see what we are at so far. Okay, it tells me I have modified main.go. So let's add that, since that's the only one that was changed. Okay, and if I do get status again, Okay, it has been staged, so it simply means that the next step, I need to do a commit. So git commit, let me put the M flag, the message flag, and the message will be added a flag, or added an option to uppercase the text. Okay, great. So I want us to go ahead and add one more flag, one more option to our parse command. And this will allow the user to specify how many times that they want the message to be printed. Okay, let's do that. So it looks like we need an int. So I'm going to call this flag nums. And this flag will be of type int. All right. And again, the int follows the same format. We need to specify the name that the user will use, the default value, and some help string. Let's call this one n. And the default will be, let's say 1. If the user doesn't enter how many times they want the string to be printed, we'll print it once. And the message will be number of times text is displayed. Okay. All right, so we need to use that flag. And again, it's an int, so it's going to return a pointer to an int. Okay. So I check to see if okay, so this is check if we should uppercase message. Okay. And now I want to simply display message based on the user flag. Okay. So of course we need a loop, right? And the loop will either iterate one time or it will iterate as many times as the user inputs. So that's straightforward. So let's do a for 0 less than what? Well, we need to put here the number of iterations. So that is found in nums. Again, I can't just put nums because that will give me an address. So I have to say star nums. That will give me the actual integer. And of course, let me increment I. Okay. All right, I made a mistake there. It's not num, it's nums. Okay. All right. Okay, let's give it a run. So I need to go build. All right, I have my parse command, my executable. Okay, it works. Let's add text. In fact, let's not add text. Let's add -c. True. All right, so hello there, which is the default, is capitalized. Okay, well, let me put back my assignment so that everything looks nice and neat. Let's do -n. I want it to be printed 5 times. Good. So the last thing I want to check is to see, and I could put this here, it doesn't matter. Okay. But we want to be in order. So let's say good morning again. So good morning. Okay, works. Of course, it makes sense to put this at the front. It just looks better that way. Say good day. All right. So the order in which you put the flags does not matter. No, okay. So I missed something. What did I miss? Oh, yeah. Right. So you see my mistake right there. What did I forget? I forgot to put the dash. Okay, very important. So, very important. Great. So that seems to work. So I will simply remove the parse. I don't need it. Let's do git status just to see where we're at. Okay, so I have modified main.go. It's telling me that I have made changes. So I will add that to the staging area. And so now if I do git status again, right, I should see that it's ready to commit. And all I need to provide is a commit message. Added the option for number of times to display text. Great. And there you have it. Let's say git log. Okay. But that's like that's a lot of information. So let's just do git log dash one line. Okay, again, I'm using a flag, the dash one line flag. Oops, in this case, it's dash dash one line. Okay, and so git gives me a summary of my commits. So the commit messages are there. Okay, so the last thing I want to do, I want to talk about the last argument we gave our flags. All right, this help message, and this comes in handy when you want to do something like this. All right, so let me build again. So go build. Let's say I don't know how to use this. Let's say I don't know how to use this command. I could do / parse -h. And what will happen, we'll see a listing of all the options, all the flags, what they do. So as a user of this command, I have an idea what to do. So for example, -c means whether the text should be uppercase. And probably I should have put something like true or false, right? So the user knows that they should type true or false. The -n is an int, so the user knows they should type an int. And it simply means the number of times the text is displayed, and it defaults to 1. All right, and the -text is a string, so the user knows they have to use quotes. And it's simply message to display, and the default is hello there. So that's why we need to put this last argument inside our function when we use flag. So it helps the user know how to use the command. All right, so for example, if I say git -h, right, I get a bunch of options, right? So it tells me usage. I have to say git. I could say --version. I could say --help, and so on. All right, and so I have a better idea what to do. Alright, so that is how we use the flags package. That's how we create a flag for a command line tool, right? A program that we can use on the command line. Now, in the next lesson, I want us to look at how to use flags as a part of a larger program. So in the next lesson, we will make a command line tool which allows us to count the number of lines, count the number of words that a user enters on the command line. Great. I hope this lesson on flags made sense. Go over it, type it up, play around with it, and then we will use this same idea in our next lesson. I'll see you then.